So the movie I decided to watch this week was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, filmed in 1974. Me personally, I'm not the biggest horror fan, but after seeing the trailer for this film, I decided to give it a go. So essentially, this film is directed by Toby Hooper, and it is a gritty, groundbreaking horror film that follows a group of five young friends on a road trip through rural Texas. So among them are Sally Hardesty and her wheelchair-bound brother Franklin. And as they explore the countryside in search for their grandfather's old home, they fall victim to a family of deranged cannibals. And one by one, the friends are brutally hunted and killed by Leatherface. So basically, Leatherface is this chainsaw wielding man who wears a mask made out of human flesh. And towards the climax and the end of the film, the group's nightmare unfolds in a grim, decaying house filled with grotesque furniture made from human bones and flesh. So I'm going to focus on four elements for this vlog, including aesthetics, realism, visual effects, and sound design. So to start off with aesthetics, the film is kind of is filmed in like a gritty visual style. I'd say it has a grainy, sun bleached look due to its low budget, but it kind of gives it a documentary like feel that adds to its unsettling nature and atmosphere. For set design, the Sawyer family home is a grotesque nightmare filled with bones, feathers, furniture made from human remains and flesh. It's visually chaotic for the audience and creates a strong sense of decay and madness. And for costume and makeup, Leatherface's masks made from human skin and blood-stained aprons are both iconic and horrific. His grotesque appearance is central to the film's aesthetic horror. Now focusing on realism. So like I said, the film is kind of shot in this documentary like style. So despite its elements, the film feels disturbingly real, and it even opens with the pseudo warning in the beginning of the film, warning about true events. And its handheld camera work and natural lighting contribute to that realism. Similarly to how the last film we watched in class, I forgot the name, but it was Tarantino's movie. How the natural lighting and the handheld camera work made the film feel also real. And lastly, unpolished nature. So the imperfections, lighting, sound, and focus weren't really mistakes, I would say. They contribute to an unfiltered experience that mirrors the chaotic violence unfolding on screen. Next, for visual effects. So I would say there's minimal gore and maximum suggestion. So surprisingly, the film shows very little blood. And I think Cooper chose suggestion over explicit gore. So viewers feel like they've seen something much bloodier than they actually have, and it's kind of proof on how powerful editing, sound, and implication can be. And for practical effects, what effects there are, like Leatherface's chainsaw or the hanging of a victim on a meat hook, were done practically with clever angles and editing to avoid showing the actual impact. For sound design, so the soundtrack, there's no traditional musical score throughout the film. Instead, Hooper uses industrial sounds like metal clanks, animal noises, ambient drones that feel organic to the film's world, and it makes the environment feel hostile and alive. And the chainsaw, it's kind of like a big part of the film's atmosphere. The chainsaw itself is kind of like a character. Um, the roar is aggressive, mechanical, and terrifying. So it dominates scenes both visually and sonically. And lastly, screams and silence. So the overwhelming screaming, especially from Sally, creates an intense emotional pressure. Conversely, long stretches of eerie silence or ambient sound amplify dread, death, and tension and for the audience. So overall, all of these elements come together to make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel less like a movie and more like a traumatic experience for the audiences. Its brutal realism, experimental sound design, and grimy visuals help redefine horror, moving it away from gothic castles and monsters and into terrifying, twisted horror stories that come from the heart of America itself.